Dr. G, where I get to talk with some dynamic people, entrepreneurs, writers. I mean, just so many people. And today we have Justin Blake. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. So introduce yourself to our audience right now. Who are you? What do you do?
Oh, how you guys doing? My name is Justin Blake. I am a proud product of military parents, so I grew up all over the world. I am the owner and founder of OEDM Group, which stands for Operational Excellence and Design Management Group. We specialize in business process reengineering, and in its more simplest phrase, it's process improvement. We go into different organizations, both federal, private, and public, and ultimately help you remedy pain points that you may be experiencing in a particular process, or help you map out a journey or a strategy to go about how to incorporate or deploy an improvement opportunity in a given process. And that's all powered through things such as Lean Six Sigma, rapid improvement events, statistical process control, and a lot of performance metrics.
Woo, that's a lot. A lot of good stuff. That's a lot of good stuff. So, here on this platform, we like to know what you are unapologetic about in this moment.
um, I'm honestly just being selfish and taking care of myself, and really getting after it, and really taking my personal health to another level. Being able to say no to people because I'm a terrible no person, and really honing in on my ambitions and my goals, right? So, and really, and then coming out on the other side of that, being in the position to really help people on another level. So I'm apologetically selfish right now, but in a positive sense, with the end game of still bringing value to people.
Okay, but you know what? There is absolutely nothing wrong with having those selfish times or just really being selfish because that's a level of self care. So, what does that look like for you? What does that selfish look like beyond saying no? I know you said you was taking care of your body. So, what does being selfish look like for you?
Number one, just being disciplined and being very intentional on goals that I set out for myself personally and professionally, and not only just putting a goal out there, but actually planning towards that goal, putting coordination towards that goal, and actually measuring myself towards that goal. Not so rigid is how not as rigid as I am in my professional sense, but actually meeting the milestones that I put before myself personally. Number one. Number two is a positive, having a positive frame of thought, being positive, and surrounding myself around positive people as well too. That's very important as well too. So it's not so selfish. It's just just cutting out a lot of nonsense, right? And number three is actually just learning more and more and more about the psychological makeup of a human, right? We get caught up in our day to day, our 9 to 5s, or our businesses, or just transactional things. And I think, well, in my case, I can't speak for everybody, but you lose sight of the human aspect of it, right? And understanding how we tick as a human, and that understanding that puts longevity and puts years back on your life, right? So actually learning the human body, learning the human psyche, and things of that nature. So those are some of the few things that I've been doing.
Okay, and then you said you was taking care of your body. Are you incorporating working out? Because what you do seems extremely busy. So are you finding time to do that as a part of your self-care?
Yes, yes. So I actually back in the day, I used to CrossFit very aggressively, way back when, but I'm not that aggressive with it anymore. But I do cycle quite a bit outside, road cycling. I don't do the whole Peloton thing. No, not to the Peloton, but actually going out, actually going outside and cycling miles and miles, as well as getting in my cross training in at the gym as well too. So I do work out 6 days a week. Every day isn't as tense as it used to be 5 6 years ago, but I do break a sweat at least 6 days out of the week.
Oh, okay. I will say I don't have time. I literally probably just don't make the time. I myself, well, it's
Yeah,
cold outside right now, so I'm mostly a runner. I give it up to those
there you
Peloton.
go.
Also, I don't even like bike ride. I feel like that hurts the bum. So
Yeah, you gotta have the right gear. Yeah, I learned that off my very first ride. Like if you're gonna ride, you need to have the right equipment.
no, the
Yeah,
right seat, I guess the right padded
yeah,
shorts is too much. I'd rather just get out there and beat my feet on the pavement. I think this probably still
yeah.
my military mind that I'd rather run
There you
outside
go.
Then on
PT don't leave you, do
it
it?
does not. Well, it's kind of left me, but I'm thankfully I'm genetically, blessed.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
so
yeah.
when it comes to your business, and you're basically what is called a change agent, and you're helping
Yep.
these businesses thrive. And so what are you going in and providing to some of these companies? Just give an example of maybe how you're helping them look at their processes a little bit differently.
No, and you're absolutely right. We are change agents, and we definitely work hand in hand with change management, SM or subject matter experts as well, for to drive adoption. But there may be a situation super simple, like let's say onboarding to a specific organization, right? Um, 9 times out of 10, I haven't really been through, and I've been through a lot of companies, both on the private and a lot of organizations on the defense side. Enrolling, indoctrination, onboarding, whatever you want to call it, is always a cumbersome process, but it's one of the most routine processes, right? And every organization that you go into is different for some reason, right? And all you need to do is take one, full-time equivalent or resource, I'm sorry, get them off the street in your organization with the appropriate accesses, appropriate equipment, appropriate if government appropriate clearances and all that jazz, and so on and so forth, and up to speed via SOPs, user guides on their tactical function within the organization, right? So you can imagine that may be a 55, 100-step process, depending on how complex, how sensitive your environment is, or that you're being indoctrinated into. So we'll go in and understand those different steps, understand what all the human touch points, what roles and responsibilities are involved within that process, and then understand how the process the journey, what's the workflow of that process, right? From that point, we'll try to ascertain, where the bottlenecks are, where the choke points are, where there may be, redundant systems, redundant, applications, so on and so forth. And then we'll try to recommend a COA or a course of action on how to mitigate that or remedy that process by bringing in an automated system to manage a part of the workflow, or actually putting ownership of the process directly with HR versus having it with HR and this function and this function, and then having it all be signed off by a division chief or a director or something like that, right? So ultimately, we're bringing continuity of a process, streamlining the process, making it, put it in a position to be transacted quicker with more accuracy and with the first pass rate, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's a human resource example, but it can get very complex. We do have contracts within the intelligence community, within the combatant commands as well too. But essentially, in its nutshell, we take you from a as is process that may be broken or there's improvement opportunities, and help you hold your hand or guide you through a journey of getting you to a to be state, with a more best in class state process.
Okay, it's a lot. I'm used to that, but so I'm used to that. I have a doctorate in organizational development and change.
Oh,
So
OD, there you go. OD, yeah.
yeah, so it's very easy for me to understand that. But for the people who are not very familiar with the importance, first of all, of processes and process change, I wanted you to share, kind of a little bit about what your business does. So what inspired you to come into this lane of work?
So I actually wanted to join the Navy way back when. I'm actually, as I said before, I'm a military brat. So I grew up. Everyone in my family's military, and then I didn't get selected into the program that I wanted to get into. It was a special operations program,
Mhm.
because of some reasons, but it didn't work out. So I started becoming a consultant in the private sector, doing similar things, right? And through that, I climbed the ladder, and I was a W-2 employee at the time. I climbed the ladder pretty quickly to where I was involved on teams doing consulting work, to leading teams, to actually managing teams, multiple teams, right? And at that tier, I was managing the financials behind the service delivery of the contracts that we were working on, right? And then when I started to see how the money moves, right, and as far right, and then and how what I'm getting paid is and the level of effort that I'm exhausting myself, and with the companies being paid on my behalf. Now, granted, I'm an employee, but the delta between the two is such a
Like it's almost like 30/70.
yeah, it's 30 seconds. Yeah, So and I got to a point to where I was still young. I had a good financial posture. I was like, you know what? I realized that I'm doing a lot of the heavy lifting because now at this point I'm dealing with the business development teams, right? And that's the sales guys, right? So once I realized that the BD guys had confidence that I could sell on the service lines that we were offering from both a federal and a private perspective, I was like, you know what, maybe I can go do this on my own, right? So I actually just jumped out there. I felt like I had the business acumen as well as the tactical acumen to get it done, and I just jumped out there, and it's worked out so far.
Okay, all right. So how can people connect with you, get in touch with you, if they have a business and they are looking for process change? How can people connect with you?
That's a great point. So I can be reached from a company perspective, www.oedmgroup.com. That's our website. And if you want to reach me directly, it's justin.blake@oedmgroup.com. And I have an Instagram as well, Justin Dev Blake @Justin Dev Blake.
Spell
And one thing, I'm sorry, go ahead.
spell that Instagram.
Oh, so it's Justin. It's Justin Dev Dev
Okay.
Blake Blake. That's my Instagram handle, Justin Dev Blake.
Okay.
And if there's one thing I could add, so OEDM, we are actually due to COVID, and there's been as everyone knows, there's been a major influx of entrepreneurs, and there's also been a major influx of entrepreneurs that want to do business with the government. They may not know how to get the ball going, right? So we've established a program by which, depending on if you're a net new entrepreneur or you already made some progress, we've developed a program where we can take you from soup to nuts on everything you need to have from a business infrastructure and a business acumen perspective to ensure that you're in complete compliance to do business with the federal government. And there are some state and local nuances as well, too, if you desire. So absolutely, if you're interested, and it can be anything from, providing carrier services up to doing weapon systems, right? Anything between. The initial requirements from a business structuring perspective are pretty static across all the next codes, right? So if you're looking to get in the business doing federal work, state work, or local work from a government perspective, reach out to us, and we can get you into one of our programs.
All right. Thank you so much for stopping by. Oh my gosh, that's a lot of really great information. I know back way, way, way back, I used to have my own independent contract with the government. So
Oh, there
I'm
you go.
registered to work for the government if I so choose to put myself out there. But it is a lot of people don't realize what you can do, to get a government contract of your own. And then there's varying ways to do it. But I'm so excited. You all reach out to Justin Blake, connect with him, get your businesses going. There's a lot of money out there that can be made for you with a small business. So tune in next time. I'll have another really great guest. And that was your unapologetic moment with Dr. G.
Thank you so much.